Hey, first up is Flora, and just check out the binding skinning on this. Looks pretty good so far. Um, checking the roll here. Nice. Okay. Fingers. Nice. Good. Yeah, so far so good. That looks good. Arms. Okay. Looks like there's an issue with the shoulder. Seems to me what's going on is that let's look at this in wireframe. So either you could say the shirt's moving too much, or you could say the neck area is moving not enough. And I think there should be some movement there. So let's start with the shirt. Whoops. I mean with the neck. So I just did shift period, which is the greater than symbol, and then I'll do control F9 and convert those to vertices. And let's look at this from the front view and make sure I'm in component mode, and probably deselect those. Oops, why didn't it? There we go. Okay. Might be a few too many, but we'll probably smooth it afterwards. Maybe just a little further. Okay. So that's those verts selected on the neck. That should be moving more with the shoulder. And let's move that shoulder. Actually, it should remember my selection, just so we can see the problem. Oh, do I have discrete rotate on or something? Oh, yeah. Okay. And so now let's go into the back here, and hopefully it remembers my selection. It did. Good. And right mouse click, paint, skin cluster, paint weights, double click, just to make sure nothing's locked. Okay. And this is the right shoulder, so that's left shoulder, right shoulder. So I can see there's a little bit of weight on there, but it looks like we need a little bit more. So let's add a little bit at a time, like 0.1, and flood. Maybe that's good enough. That one's just barely sticking out there. Actually, I think it's going to be alright. So let's select this again, and yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay, zero that out and select this, and let's mirror the skin weights. Skin, mirror skin weights options, cross the YZ plane from the negative to the positive, so that should be unchecked. Mirror, and let's just test the other side. What's interesting is, the shirt's different on this side. So let's just make sure the shirt is mirrored as well. Skin, mirror skin weights, and let's try that again. Okay, good. Nice. Head. Yeah, that hair is a bit of an issue. But just, maybe use the neck a little bit more, and the head will just have a lighter touch when you're animating that head. check those eyes. Yep. I would say you've done a really good job rigging this. Just it was the only thing was that the shoulders, but really I'm finding everything of it look really good. Good job. Next up is Taylor. I noticed an issue with the foot here. See how like that ankle sort of squishes when I lean it forward, and or if you like, you can see it's kind of bending weird. So I think that just gotta fix the weighting there a little bit. Going to right mouse click, vertex, pick these bottom ones, shift period, which is the greater than symbol to grow that selection sum. Double click on the paint weights tool. Let's unlock all of these. And select the ankle, right ankle, and replace with a value of 1, flood, and then maybe right mouse click object mode, select the object, go back to the paint weights tool, and let's just do smooth and flood just to kind of smooth that out a little bit. And let's see if that's still happening now. Nope, that looks better. A little funniness here. But I think it's okay now. And then we could try, hopefully we can mirror skin weights options from the negative side to the positive side. So keep that unchecked, mirror, and let's check this here. Roll that. Okay, good. Let's check this out. Oh. That got messed up in the process of fixing the other stuff. So it might have been the smooth I did that did that, I'm not sure. But let's just try, let's see if we hammer all of these, if it fixes that, or if I have to really get in there and figure out what happened. Hammer skin weights. Raise the tolerance, okay. Oh, maybe we just have to do fewer verts. Let's try that. Oh, I don't see it when I do that. Yeah, it's just a few that went a little wacky here. Hammer skin weights. Yeah. And then if I do G, it'll do the most recent function. I don't know why these went berserk. I think something about that smooth kind of messed it up. Maybe. Alright. That's better. Let's try that now. Oh, jeez. Okay. G? Yep, G for most recent function. Whoops. Yeah, I think it doesn't like to hammer a lot of them at the same time. Okay. Alright, let's try that now. Alright, that's better. And skin, mirror skin. Oops. Undo that. I meant to have both those selected. Skin, mirror skin weights, and let's see if that fixed the other one, please. Yes. Oh. So it just didn't seem like it entirely was successful with the... Oh yeah, looks like that's a problem on both of them. Okay. I guess that one didn't... Whoops. Didn't fully hammer that one. Oops. Skin, hammer. Okay. And then put this back. And mirror again. Skin, mirror. Pain. Probably a better way to do that. I'm seeing something. It doesn't seem to be a problem when it's smooth, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. Let's see what else. It's looking alright. Shoulder. Yeah. Elbow. Okay. Wrist. I would have probably extended the wrist geometry further, overlapping there, and also maybe added additional edge loop here. And then you'll have to like rebind it if you're going to do that, because otherwise it's going to be pretty unavoidable that that's going to poke. Is it unavoidable? Can we possibly make it the same as the other one? Maybe. Let me see if I can fix this without changing the geometry. Double click on this edge, Control F9 will convert that to vertices. Then paint, and what is this? Is the right wrist. If you want to search, you can do star, capital W, R-I-S-T, star, enter, right wrist. And then let's just try, we want to reduce the amount the wrist rotates it, so let's try scaling it by 0.9 each time. 0.9, enter, flood, 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 flood. I think that would be moving further back unless there's another joint in here. What other joint would it be? I don't know, that's not really helping me showing the joints there actually. Let me just close that. Where was that wrist? Oh great. I mean, unless maybe the cup is affecting it? Oh yeah. Yeah. Some of the weight was on that cup part joint. Okay. Let's try it out. Oh, that's too far anyway. I mean, it's sort of, yeah. See, there's really, it's stuff like this, like, yeah, you really need more geometry there, and you really need it to be longer. That's what I would do. Is this hand upside down? Oh no, something that looks kind of palm-like on the top there. And fingers. Yeah, if you do want to do that geometry, just delete history, you know, extend that further in, add a couple edge loops, and then select all the joints, and then bind skin again on that hand. You're saying something, yeah, you didn't do this right, you're having some problem with it. So let's try that. Let's first do the hair. You had some problem with the head joint. Star, capital H-E-A-D, star, enter, head M, value of 1, replace, flood, and the head, let's just maybe just isolate this for a second and flood, replace, value of 1, head, flood. Okay, and then we might need to kind of smooth that a little bit. Why does it not keep my selection when I do that? Flood, smooth, flood, flood, flood. Okay. Now let's unisolate that and see if that's working. Yeah, pretty good. Okay. Yeah, so fix the head and hair and the wrists, but otherwise it's looking good. Nice work. Alright, this is Craig, and let's just take a look, see how he's moving. Oh, I can see you've animated him. We could... Yeah, that's a good way to show that it's working pretty well. I'll just do my usual checks anyways. Hey. Son of a gun. Maya crashed. I could be patient and see if Maya comes back, but I don't think it's going to. On Windows, you can do Control-Shift-Escape and click on Maya and task, and that'll kill that. Okay, we're back. I'm just checking this. Seems like you've got this shoulder affecting the opposite side. You see that? Is the same as the other way true? Yeah, look at that. So what I would say is that's... No, it's on a few surfaces. It's on this surface and that surface. Right? Oh, and maybe this surface too. Alright, well, let's select those surfaces, component mode, front view. Guess we'll do that side, Control-Shift select to get all that. Then make sure that's not affected by his right shoulder. Right mouse click, paint, skin cluster, paint weights. Double click to get the tool options. I might dock the tool. I seem to have turned my docking off. Window, workspaces, to uncheck disable docking, and here we go. So we want right shoulder. That's left shoulder. So let's just make sure it's on none of these. So I only have those verts selected. We're going to replace with a value of 0. Flood, this one, flood, this one, flood. I'll just go down here because I just want to make sure that none of those things are, because it really could be any of those that's influencing that other side potentially. Oh, okay, that's probably good enough. Let's see if that solved the problem. Where's my rotate manipulator for crying out loud? There we go. Well, I thought... Okay, I don't know. I think maybe there's other... I did have all those points selected. Maybe there's other things I have to flood with 0, or maybe it's like passing them along to the wrong joint on this side, but that seems hard to believe. Where was I? So we did wrist, place value 0, flood. Let's do each of the fingers. Seems excessive, but I think I can do down arrow. Oh, that'll be faster. I'm just doing down arrow on the keyboard. That's it. That doesn't work. Okay. See that? See how it's not affecting the other side now? Now you might argue it's affecting this side a little bit too much, but it doesn't seem... You know, he's kind of got no neck, and that's where you're going to run into stuff where you know, does it control some of that? Does it not? Oh, but you know what? One issue we're having is, why do I have discrete rotate on? The strap doesn't seem to be moving enough with the shoulder, I think. Whoops. See that? I think that needs to move more with the shoulder. So let's get this edge here and shift period, which is greater than symbol, grow. Control F9 to convert to vertices. And I think you already had some animation on this, so. Oh, I think that particular animation you did sort of doesn't really show the problem that much. Because of the direction. Ah! It's crashed again. Why? Not sure why I'm running into crashing like this. It's unusual. I thought, one thing to check if it's crashing a lot is if there's any extra history on here, but there's really not. So, anyway. Yeah, it's sort of, if it goes down or like forward, it's not so much of a problem. It's more if it goes up. I mean, in reality, it's the clavicle that would move it up anyway. So, but the problem is that if we use the IK blend and move this up with that, it's not smart enough, unfortunately, to use the clavicle. I mean, unless you manually get in there and do it. So maybe you leave it, because that would be kind of the more proper thing. And you've already seen how I fixed that other side. That so I'm not going to do that again. And that head. Where's your neck? Is that? Oh, it's this right here. Is it? Okay. Yeah. So I think you've done a really nice job. Let's check the fingers. You got a 4-finger hand here. I might make these circles a little bigger to make them easier to select. That looks really good. Thumb looks a little funny, but I think it has more to do with oh yeah, I think that's all part of that same thing I fixed before. See that zeroing that stuff out. So that will solve that also after you do the one side like I showed, and then you mirror it over. Alright, nice work. Okay, this is Gordon. He's using the stock model. If any of you guys are really struggling, you can ask for that. It's fine. The camera's being funny, so I'm going to do view default view, which should fix that. Also, he's not in his starting pose, so I'm going to click on the AS5 tool here and do pose reset. Let's take a look at the binding here. Just try this roll. That's working good. And let's check his shoulder, elbow, wrist. Whoops, wrong one. Good. Okay. It's these curls. Yep, those seem all right. These are a little bit hard to access, some of these. I would component mode, take this and oops, is that part of something else there? Scale this up. Oh, I think that's part of something else. Okay, there we go. So, and then maybe this one as well. And yeah, maybe that one. There we go. Maybe that could move up a little bit. Rotate some. Just want to make it easy to pick. It's really just there to select, that particular joint. And then I think that same issue with on the neck. Okay. So those are accessible now. The eyes appear to be working. Good. Okay. Neck. Yeah. All right. It seems all good with the binding. Yeah. Good work. This is Jeffrey, and it's a good reference image. It's interesting, if you imagine his feet being maybe here, you can see to counterbalance his body weight being in front of his root, you can see he has to stick out his butt, behind where his feet would be. Even though he has this cane to help counterbalance, he's still doing that. If he didn't have that cane, he'd have to stick his butt that much further to counterbalance the weight being forward. And so in this image, one thing I think, let's pretend there's a cane there still. I still think you could push that root back because the root is more or less over the feet, it looks like, and you want to push it back further to counterbalance. And also he's got this kind of heavier, bigger head and torso, all the more reason to kind of counterbalance it with some of the torso being on the other side of the feet. But for the most part, you did a really good job representing that. Yeah, just as a continuation of that, you can see what I'm saying here, that I would try to take that root. Where is your? It's a little hard to see there. Oh, there we go. And kind of. Oh, why is that lifting the foot? Strange. Shouldn't be. That's a bit of a concern. Something's not right with the rig. Unless it's something wrong with the bind. Let's go back to the default pose. And let's just have a little play with this foot. Boy, something sure isn't right with that. Let me just make these joints display animation joint size 0.1. And let's just hide those surfaces real quick and see if the joints seem to be moving correctly. Yeah, the joints are moving correctly, which is actually a relief because that means it's just a binding issue and not a rig issue, which would probably be harder to fix. See, that one seems okay. So let's see what happens if we take this, shift select that. Rigging, skin, mirror skin weight options from the negative side to the positive side. So we leave that unchecked, mirror, and see if that worked. Yeah, okay. No biggie. Just kind of checking other stuff, seeing how this moves. Looks alright. It's okay. I guess I would expect the shirt to move with this a little bit, but seem to be getting away with it. Good. Okay, head. Good. We've got a neck here, okay. Oops. Just turn off objects. I keep selecting objects. Clavicle. Ooh. Something went quite wrong there. Oh well. Okay. So that's something to fix. So yeah, this clavicle seems to be affecting the opposite side. So, and a little bit of an issue here, although maybe you won't move it that much, but let's just deal with this situation. So I might isolate this and select kind of anything on this side. Right mouse click, paint, skin cluster, weights, double click on the tool, dock it over here. If it's not docking, you can check window, workspaces, make sure this is unchecked, and then dock this. Dock. What did we say? Clavicle, right? Is that what that's called? Scapula, sorry, not clavicle. So it's right scapula. See how much it's affecting that side. Replace with a value of 0, flood. Let's unhide everything and test that again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, other than that, I think it looks really good. Size okay. Yep, seems to be working. Good. Yeah, nice work. Yeah, so just fix that thing with the shirt. And I think you'll be in pretty good shape. Okay, this is Katherine, and yeah, the pose looks pretty good. Might work on the kind of the hand finger positions a little bit more, and the elbow. Make sure it works in 3 dimensions, and also her spine looks a little stiff. Maybe a little bit more curve to that. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. I think the arm could kind of rotate around, so it seems to be kind of facing out towards the camera instead of kind of more parallel to her body. Okay, here it is in Maya. Let's see how it's working. Good. Alright. And looks like it's maybe moving too much of the shirt. And what's going on with this? Is that like separate surface or something? No, it's part of this surface, but somehow it's not moving with the just control F9 to select those verts. Let's see if it'll let us do hammer skin weights on that. Hammer skin weights. Let's try again with these, just these two. Just grow the selection, shift period. Skin, hammer. Maybe just this one. G for, no. I'm just going to hit this and pose, reset. Okay. Let's see how it's moving now. Something, yeah, it's moving too much with the shoulder. So let's select some of those verts. Shift period. Well, maybe just that, and do control shift select these. Okay, and let's kind of move this to where we see the problem. It should save our selection when we go back into component mode. Yes. Alright, and then let's paint weights tool. I'm going to unlock all of these. Pick the top one, shift select the bottom, unlock. And that's, I guess, the shoulder, or the right shoulder. Let's do, well, let's just find it. Scapula, there it is. So let's try to replace with the value of 0, flood. Sort of surprised that that still looks kind of messed up there. Well, it could be, there's some on this too. Aha, there we go. Okay. Now let's try moving this, and I'll just put it back to 0. Oops. Back to 0. Better. Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't move so much with that. And maybe you want to mirror that skin, mirror skin weights options from the negative side to the positive side, so that's unchecked. Mirror. See how this one moves. Still too much movement there. Is that doing that on this side too? No. I would have thought the mirror would have taken care of that. It's alright. And left shoulder. No. Yes. Left scapula is probably okay. Left shoulder. Place value of 0. Flood. Flood. Just for good measure. Okay. And okay. Yeah, better. Yeah, still too much motion on the back maybe here. But I mean, I think easy to process there. You can just continue doing that for those other joints. The other points or areas of points. Neck's working good. Head seems to be alright. Yep, that looks good. Eyeballs. Good. Alright, do we check the fingers? Yep. Okay. Wrist. Alright. Elbow. Okay. Alright. Yeah, looking good. Nice work on this. So a little bit to clean up around there, especially shoulder stuff. How's this scapula? I would do the same thing with the scapula, where I'd pick verts on this side and flood them with 0, because those shouldn't be affected by this scapula at all. So just repeat that same process. Pick the verts. Pick the left scapula. Pick the verts on the right side. Pick the left scapula. Flood these verts with a value of 0. Alright, but yeah, overall good work. Okay, this is Adanya. Let's take a look at the pose. Take a close look at the leg and the angle of the foot here, just in comparison that. And also look how the hand is posed, and then your fingers are untouched. So just just get in the habit of really adjusting all those different controls. Alright, let's take a look at this. The boots are so giant. I think I talked to you about adjusting the model of this in previous sessions, but looks like it hasn't changed since then. That's looking alright. Let's check this roll. Looks okay, good. It's moving alright. This curve you might want to make a little bigger, but the bind seems good. That looks alright. Okay. Fingers. Oof. Okay, something went very wrong there. Is this hand messed up too? Oh, that one's fine. So were you not able to mirror this across to the other one? Let's take a look. Let's just make sure. AS5, this thing, pose, reset. Okay. Oh. Did you move the eye joints? It looks like you moved the eye joints. Just going to show the joints. You pose, reset. Look at that. Oh, that's weird because well, maybe I won't use the pose reset. I don't know what happened there. That's weird. Something funny happened. Maybe you have some clue of where that went wrong. By the way, the thumb is very skinny and kind of weirdly, could use some shaping on that. Anyway, so let's just make sure these are zeroed out. Here we go. 0, enter. That's zeroed. That is. I'm assuming these all are. So we want to mirror this. Oops. turn surfaces back on. This hand to this hand. Rigging. Skin. Mirror skin weights options from the positive side to the negative side, so we do want to check that. Mirror. Okay, did that work? It worked for the fingers. Now for the shirt, because that funny thing on the shirt's not happening on this side, right? Yep, okay, so let's just do mirror again, same settings. And yeah. Good. Okay. This, that. Okay, head. Do we have a neck control hiding somewhere? Here it is. Oops. Just did F8 to go into component mode. Select those, scale those up. Okay. And object mode, and let's check the neck. Great. Okay, eyes working. Yep. Okay, something's gone very wrong with the eyes. And I'm not sure when or where it happened. I feel like maybe you did something funny with the joints at some point. So, I mean, it's definitely a clue that the eye joints move when I reset pose. I wonder what. Yeah, that's that 0 position. And then what's this one? That's FKI, and this is IL, and that's IL end. And the end is usually in front of the eye. I feel like maybe you move the eye joints after the rig was built, because I'm seeing those numbers there. Kind of hate to go backwards now, but I mean, what you can do is you can export your skin weights surface by surface. It's just a lot of work. Export weight maps, options. Can I do it for all the surfaces at once? That would be cool. Maybe. All objects off, surfaces. Let's see if it lets me do for all of them. Let's get bigger maps here. 1024 maybe. And export. And oh, it's going into my source images directory because I'm not set to your project. Okay. You know, weights exported. I don't know. Hundreds. Okay, this might take a minute. Well, it's not taking too long. You can see at the bottom here the progress. Okay, well, maybe that won't be too bad. Now let's see if AS5 lets us step backwards in the process. I'm not too optimistic. I haven't been too successful with this historically. So the idea is to be able to go back to fit mode now. So I've seen it would let you go back into fit mode, but I don't think it's going to do it. As I said, I haven't had much success with that. So really, the thing to do is maybe you have a version saved with your fit skeleton and you go back to that point and see what the deal is with the eyeball joints. Let's delete the whole rig off of this and do this again. Let's turn off everything back on again. Okay. There-ish. I don't really want to go through and do else, but I think this is the point at which things went wrong, because this needs to be moved to where the eyeball is. So, oh, and this is locked right now, so let me unlock this. Unlock selected. And, okay. And then let's center pivot, modify center pivot. Okay, some reason. Ooh, what the heck? Why is there some of the surface on the other eyeball? That's so strange. I'm gonna isolate that, delete these faces off. That is absolutely bizarre. So let's try centering pivot again. There we go. There we go. And select this and shift select. No, select it. Select this and shift select this eye joint. And let's do that constrain point trick where we don't maintain offsets. Apply. And then edit. Delete by type constraints. Okay. So now that eye joint is in the right place. Is this one equally weird? No, it's not. But let's unlock this. And center pivot on this one. Okay. All right. So I think this was the stage at which it didn't have the joint in the right place, and then I think you tried to move it afterwards after the rig was built. Now, I don't really want to go through and do all the finger placement, yada 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 stuff. So I'm just so we see the whole process, I'm gonna leave it rough, but obviously very carefully go through and adjust all your joints. But I just don't want to take the time right now. So let's build the skeleton. Okay. Oh God, something go wrong. Looks like something went wrong. Why is that in IK mode right now? The IK switches seem to be gone. Let me undo that. I just undid that. Oh, looks fine to me. I don't know. Maybe I need a little bend in this. Whoops. Or something? I don't know. Let me just save this. Might need to download the newest version of this or something. Damn it. Yeah, it's missing the FK IK switches. Let me just, I don't know, reopen Maya or something. You know what I just thought of is when I deleted out the rig, I don't think I deleted these sets out of the scene, so I just deleted that out, and maybe that's gonna make this build work. Let's see. Cross your fingers. Yes. Okay. Indeed, that was it. Deleting out the sets. Okay. So, anyways, as I said before, I was lazy. I didn't place the fingers. You have to get all that stuff perfectly placed. Maybe you have a previous version, where you have your fit skeleton saved. That would be great if you did. But I just wanted to show you the binding thing. So, select these surfaces. I'll just turn off everything. Surfaces. Marquee, select the surfaces. Add a select to form joints. Smooth bind options. Let's try that. Okay, so now you're getting that sort of default bind. Let's see how that's. Let's turn everything back on again. But maybe, well, obviously there's going to be problems with everything else but the point of the story is that you should be able to import your, if you had binding work, like let's look at the head for example. Oh, this is off again. How'd that get off? So yeah, you can see you've got that head problem. So, and I think you fixed that on your thing. So if we just select these surfaces and rigging skin, import skin weight maps, and I put it in the source images directory of there's that weight map file, and you'll see it kind of rebuild the thing using those weight maps. And so what should happen is oh, just because maybe the eyeballs were screwed up before or something. But the point is, you can see that I don't know why the eyeball weights didn't work out, but you can see that the head weights did fix, and it's just as an example, like of an obvious fix. Oh, weird. You just have to rebind those eyeballs correctly. I think that's all. To select this, I would just delete history off this. Alt Shift D, and then select the star I star. Where's that? Under the deformation system, we want that IR join, and then skin bind skin options. Selected joints bind. Which shouldn't have taken that long. That was weird. Let me just make sure I just have the eye and that joint selected. And there's no history on this, right? Yes. Skin bind skin options. Let's just use closest distance selected joints. There we go. That was more quick, like it should have been. And then, yeah, that's fine. So you can fix them that way. So the reason I showed that was to show the process of exporting skin weights, fixing the rig, and then importing skin weights. The only thing I skipped was correctly placing all the joints. Okay, this is Josh, and just looking at his pose. The character, pretty good. Some nice attention to detail detail with the angle of the hips, with the fingers. I would say that the whole body kind of should be curving. That spine kind of curves more this way. If you look here, kind of, you can tell by that grid on his shirt, and even his head is at an angle, and his shoulders are at kind of an angle like that. So, whereas your shoulders are real straight. So I would take this control and kind of rotate it, and some of those controls. But overall, pretty good. Okay, one thing to mention, when I opened your file, it had all of your files in it, so make sure you're just doing the rig, you do the file archive scene, so I only get the relevant file. What's going on with these eyeballs? I think it's just that let's isolate this for a second. Oh, it's just that the kind of pupil and iris are sort of enormous on that eyeball. I would shrink those down because it looks kind of weird that there's no white to the eye. Okay, let's just test this thing out. I'll just reset the pose, reset. Oh, boom. Well, that's a real bummer. Wonder why that happened. What rig is this? Character 1 control. Effector. What did you do? Some kind of different rig here? It looks like either you did some custom rig. It certainly doesn't look like advanced skeleton. Pinning. Yeah, I don't know what rig this is. HIK. Did you use the human IK thing in Maya? I'm just wondering why not advanced skeleton. Huh. Alright. Yeah, this is kind of throwing me for a loop because I don't know this. Why can't I rotate anything? Is this some kind of... Can't move anything either. Alright, I don't know what we're looking at here. I don't know why nothing seems to move. I mean, it seems like you got a working rig, but it's a little bit hard to test. That's moving. That doesn't rotate. It's like it looks like the numbers are changing, but then it doesn't move or rotate. Yeah, the numbers change when I move it, but it doesn't actually move. Boy, I'm wondering what rig this is. Character control reference. Just what in the world? Alright, well maybe you can kind of fill me in on this. When I see that HIK, I feel like it's that human IK thing. Oh, sure appears to be that. Yeah, I see. Okay. Boy, I gotta tell you, I don't know. I guess the thing is that the whole course is kind of based on the advanced skeleton rig, so it's going to make the rest of the, anything about animating the character a little tricky. You'll have to, if you're going to stick with this, you'll have to rely on, tutorials outside the course. I just don't really use this. It seems to be working pretty well. But I don't have much to add on that. So, I mean, the rig is working. But again, the rest of the lessons are based on advanced skeletons, so I would have tended to do that. Alright. Okay, this is Gwen. Let's check out the rig, see how it's going. Looks alright. Rock and roll. Alright. Looks okay. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, yeah, everything seems to be working pretty well. I'm not really finding any issues so far. You mentioned problems with his shoulders and arms. So far, I haven't really seen much issues with them, so maybe just put wireframe on shaded because I'm having trouble seeing. I mean, that looks okay. Maybe give me an idea of what you're unhappy with. I think it looks pretty good. I actually am having trouble finding any problems with it, so just show me what you're concerned about and we can work on it. But to me, this looks good.